Hello everybody and welcome back for another week of comic book reviews here on the Fortress of Solitude. We're going to be kicking things off with G.O.D.S. Issue 1 by Jonathan Hickman and Valerio Schiti. This is Jonathan Hickman's long-awaited, much-teased series all about the science and religion and magical sides of the Marvel Universe and how they are all coming into a collision. The book centers around Winn, sorcerer and avatar of the powers that be, and he and his partner Dimitri take a trip to New York to crash a party of lesser magical beings who have foolishly summoned a demon. While Winn and Dimitri deal with the demon, we also meet Winn's estranged wife Aiko Maki. I really like the casualness Hickman is using to tackle these characters with. Winn is just tired and just wants to be done with everything, oddly enough fitting a very grizzled detective or PI character, and even dresses like one too. He treats these weird and wonderful and sometimes dangerous events that surround him very nonchalantly, as if it's just another Tuesday at work for him, and really it is. I think that was the right way to go about this and not sort of go the way that I thought Hickman was going to go, which was these big all-powerful characters, these big deities in the Marvel Universe, and kind of make them alien and unrelatable to everything we know as humans, making them just some other guys going about their job like everyone else makes it super relatable. And there's also a humor to it that these all-powerful beings have similar problems to us as humans, relationship problems, work problems, all sort of stuff like that is a constant in the universe, and it's all of that sort of stuff, all the horrible stuff we have as just being adults and humans. Winn does eventually catch up with Aiko, learning that she has gotten a promotion that has severely changed things between them, and this is where a big chunk of the backstory and lore of this series is coming from, as Aiko has joined the Centivars, becoming the 97th of them and the last prime of the Centum, who handily enough are at war with Winn's people, the powers that be. She also learns that Winn is the avatar of the powers that be, something that he deliberately kept from her, and she is visibly very hurt by this and didn't like that she was kept in the dark about this. This also continues the theme of keeping things casual, as Winn and Aiko are essentially fighting in what is really a messy divorce, and it ends with Winn being killed by Aiko. However, because of who he is as the avatar of the things that be, he will eventually come back to life, and he does, as 10 years pass and we are now in the present of the Marvel Universe, and the man makes a return as a Babylon event is at the world's doorstep and about to destroy it. This allows Hickman to touch on the more traditional heroes of the Marvel Universe and ones we're familiar with, like Doctor Strange, who rallies various magical beings to battle Cubist Core, the Proto-Mage, who has returned and gained the staff of the Living Tribunal and wants to destroy everything they know. Things don't go well for the heroes, and it's left up to Winn and Dimitri, who have been coming up with their own plan to defeat the villain, and it involves the Butch Cub, a special magical book that Winn goes on a little bit of an adventure to get that erases the user's knowledge the more they read it, and Winn uses it on Core and gets him to forget his magical abilities, buying into Core's need for more magical power and offering up this book that can give him what he wants and kind of tricking him into doing it. It's a really fun and pretty smart use of magical items on Hickman's part, and uses the opportunity to further explore the magical side of the universe and places we seldom see or seldom relate to magic items, like the Collector's Vault, things of that nature, tying together the sci-fi elements of the Marvel Universe with the more magical and fantasy side. Like all of Hickman's work, there is a grandness to this story. There's this air of grandness, and we saw it in Ultimate Invasion. It's just this super large scale and really ambitious story, and the first issue here draws you into the world purposefully with some really great lore building through casual dialogue and just letting you know that these things will be coming back throughout the issue, and just sort of setting you up with just enough information that you can figure out what's going on, who's who, and who's on whose side. That being said, I can see a lot of people being turned off from the fact that you'll have to do a lot of reading in this issue. There's lots of pages that are covered with text bubbles filled with big ideas and concepts and characters discussing them. As someone who likes that sort of stuff and likes getting into the universe and the mechanics of how a universe works, specifically a comic book universe, I really like that sort of stuff, and when it's done well, I don't mind it. I know in the past I have seen seen books do this, and it's just been an absolute slog to read through. But with Hickman, again, there's that grandness to what he's planning, and it's very ambitious, and he's using things that are already in the toy box instead of inventing his own things. And if he does invent his own things, it's adhering to the rules of the universe that have already been set up. Another thing that helps Hickman get all of these big ideas across is Valerio Schiti's wonderful looking artwork. Schiti helped Hickman kickstart the Krakoan era of the X-Men, so it's only fitting he's here to help Hickman organize Marvel's science and higher powers. His colorful, bold artwork really stays with you long after reading, and his character designs are always fantastic. Again, I love the designs of Winn and Dimitri and Aiko. They all look really great and very striking, especially Winn with his very much a detective costume. He's wearing a three-piece suit with a long jacket. It looks like something that should get lost in the jumble of everything, since it has been done before, but just the way he's designed, it just looks fantastic on him. Now, for some bigger picture stuff regarding the series, since it's 8 issues, I'm intrigued to see where they're going to take this, since this issue doesn't particularly set up what the next issue is or what's going to happen in that next issue. This was a very self-contained issue in that it set up who our main characters are and gave them a threat to face, just sort of so they could prove themselves to us and give them a reason why we should care about these characters. What we've seen Hickman tease with his various one-page teasers in X-Men and Venom and all that sort of stuff, with Tesseract cubes being found in internals in different universes, and Aiko studying them in a special lab with the Centivars and all that sort of stuff. It's all really weird stuff, but none of it is really here in this book. We get alluded to it, but it's never really made clear of what the real end goal of this series is, and I'm intrigued to see what he has in store for us, Hickman, especially since right in the middle of doing this, he is doing the Ultimate Universe relaunch and doing all of the stuff over in there and writing Ultimate Spider-Man and various other Ultimate books. So will they also be tying into this, or will maybe we see the Ultimate versions of these characters, or these characters go to the Ultimate Universe? Again, time will tell, but I'm very excited to see what he's going to be bringing to the table, since this first issue really set the bar high in terms of what he has in store for us. G.O.D.S issue 1 was definitely a lot to take in, especially if someone isn't too familiar with the workings of the Marvel Universe and they decide to pick it up on a whim. But as someone who loves getting into the nitty-gritty of the comic universes and how they function, I adored every moment of it and its surprisingly down-to-earth and relatable characters. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10, so pick it up if you are intrigued. If you just like Hickman's work, this is a very, very Hickman work and very Hickman on point, especially after the not so good last issue of Ultimate Invasion. This will definitely cleanse the palate from that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does next.